What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the #1 comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Boy, it's been a little while, and just in my introduction, I got to reintroduce myself. I am YouTube's #1 commenter, and for those who are new to my channel and familiar to my channel, I'm back from a bit of hiatus. I've been on and off. On my last video, I kind of explained my situation, what was going on. So now that I'm making time to do videos, I actually don't have much product to work with. Feels like back in the 80s when the crack era, when the drought just went away, everything was messed up. And no, let me stop. I'm joking. But what I do, I do detailed reviews and recaps of reality shows. And what I do, I interject my opinion in it and I go over some of the material. So I'm not doing each episode, I guess, scene by scene, but that's why you're here. You'll get a lot of what I think, what I feel. And because I am YouTube's #1 commenter on our channel, I welcome all comments, whether we agree or we don't. But it's just wonderful to get another side, and we just have like so much fun with it and just getting people's different personalities, thoughts, and perspectives. So it's just like a good time. The only thing that I ask that we stay respectful in the comments, because this is the home of the Dub fam. So we cousins, we YouTube cousins, so we treat each other with respect, because that's back in the day. You treat your family with respect, even if you don't like what they say or you get mad, but we stay respectful. So I'm gonna go ahead and what's I don't even know what's my first video. I'm doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's been a long, long, long time since I've done Love and Marriage Huntsville, and crazy enough, it's been my like most popular video. So we're gonna start out. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 5, episode 14, The Cold and the Beautiful. So it pretty much starts out with Mel. She's having like a private massage at her home, and she says she forgets that Stormy was invited over in the middle of her massage. So we'll go with that. And I'll say it again. I'll repeat things that I say because so many episodes I missed or caught up. So I'm going to interject maybe things that happened in previous episodes, and that's what it'll be. So I just don't want you to think like, where's he getting this from? Because I got so much catching up to do. I just can't catch up, but I'm gonna add some from old stuff. And I would say from that's what's up situation with Stormy, she has really changed her image. And crazy enough, I do like the new Stormy. I welcome her. I want to see her, and I want to see more of her. So we get with Stormy, and pretty much Stormy wants to find out what's going on with Mel and Martell. After they had their Kumbaya family trip to Destin, Mel saying pretty much her and Martell on the outs again. Now, at this point, I'm not really surprised, and why I'm not surprised, I mean, Martell to me is always going to be Martell. He's always going to be masking or acting like he's better, but I know he's not. And I thought it would last a little longer, like the peace treaty they have on with the co-parent and everything, but that was quick. So come to find out, they really on the outs because Mel has an issue that Marceau told his other child's mother, Ariane, that she had COVID. And I kind of understand both sides of it, but with the sensitivity of how the history of things have been, Martell really should have kept that under wraps, because apparently Ariane has gone on social media and putting Mel's business out there like that, and it's gonna come like in a negative way. So I'm expecting Martell to be a bit more responsible, but that's still Martell. I don't think he's gonna think that through. So they got beef, and pretty much that's it. I'm not sure how much Martell knows about this, or I'm sure they discussed it somewhat, but Mel has a problem. It's like they've been all their progress has been like wiped away, and she just doesn't trust Martell no more. And how could you trust Martell? Like, people make mistakes, but you can kind of see the pattern of people or the way they take accountability or lack thereof. And Martell is one of those people who, like, yeah, you probably gonna have to write him off or keep him in a certain box and things, even if that's just friendship. So Martell, he's pretty much having his Huntsville launch party of his wine line, I Nest, and I would say something that stuck out to me during that event, I didn't see Melnika, Martell's long-term friend and manager or whatever she is. She's not like hosting anything, and Martell knew that was kind of off, so he chose to explain it, saying like, I don't even know how to say it. Melanika has contacts in Atlanta, so that's why she kind of helped him with that. But when he was in Huntsville doing his photo shoots, Melanika was rubbing the oil on his chest and being his personal assistant, managing everything. So it's something more going on there. And before the event starts, Destiny actually showed up, and she's get with Martell, and for some reason she has a need before Martell's event to let him listen to a recording of Mel speaking on Martell's dating situation with Sheree with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I can tell you, I went back to saying like, oh, how I missed or I enjoy seeing Stormy. I don't miss seeing Destiny or the Whitlows. It's like their stories, they don't matter. I don't even know how they still in there. I guess they don't have any, new feelings for the show, but Destiny was just there to introduce the mess. And you can see it bothered Martell because, he got real defensive and talked about, I can think about all the countless times Mel had babysitting our kids or watching our kids. I'm like, that don't have nothing to do with somebody being in a relationship or something like that. So Mel has other people assisting her watching your children. And that's comparing to her speaking on somebody who you dating. Okay. But Martell and Melly always going to have something going on. They're forever infected. That's what I like to say. So we go to Marceau and Tisha's rental home. And, to me, is I guess at this point is reality. You see them in their master bedroom with like items just stuffed everywhere. We got power tools, we got purses hanging on the door, folded clothes, dirty clothes, all that kind of stuff in this little room. And the thing is, like, it's not more so me taking a shot at the situation. It's the fact that like this lifestyle that Marceau kind of come off and build. You can taking trips to Africa. You got one car that costs over $150,000. So y'all got what, over $200,000 worth of cars, and your cars cost more than your house and your investment property. And I saw in the last episode, the house is actually across from a gas station. Like, it's 10 feet away from a gas station. Who wants to live in a gas station? And like I said, I'm not knocking the lifestyle, but the way he's painting, Marceau telling me, I make, I'm doing $20-30 million hotel bills and all that kind of stuff. And your fence is like knocked down. Like, like a renter lives in there, and your investment property, while you're waiting to build this estate on some land that hasn't even been broken down, your kids will be grown by the time you build this estate for your family. And all I can say is Marceau got the right one in Tisha, because that absolutely makes no sense, because it's y'all stuffed in that little room, and you got 3 kids in this little house that you could stretch your arms out and touch both of the walls. Like, I'm just saying, like I said, everybody ain't made to live the high life. There's a lot that come with it, but the perception, because he has a champagne line out for. I ain't even go too deep. We're gonna get into that later, but it's just a lot like what he puts out. Like, they doing it so big, but you got your family living in this renter starter home, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's move on. If we can. So, just hearing Marceau speak about Martell and Melody, with friends like Marceau, who needs enemies? They were pretty much gossiping about Martell and Melody at a point where it's like Marceau was insinuating that Melody was jealous of Marceau leveling up to She by Sheree. I guess Melody wants to see him doing bad, or now he was down here, but he's up here with Chateau Sheree or whatever the case may be. and Melody is jealous. Why? Why would she be? Why would she be? So, like I said, I wouldn't want a friend like that because at the same time he was kind of clowning Martell's fashion, act like he's bigging him up about it, like Marceau at the last event down in Atlanta, he had that fox on, and they showed him them. I'm expecting a walrus or a pterodactyl or whatever. And then in the same breath, down in his wine line saying it has no comparison to his chocolate champagne. Why you still living in that starter home? All them profits off the chocolate champagne. You need to move your family. At least move them to a better rental home or whatever the case may be while you build your wonderful Scott estate. And yeah, that's just like I said. I even I know people talk about people all the time. It's really none of your business, but when you're seeing it on camera, how people talk behind your back, I couldn't really sit well with it. Like I'd be thinking, like, you're really not my friend. You're not. So that's how I would see it. And yeah, like I said, I just Marceau isn't what he tries to come off to be in every way. And as far as let's get to the event. As far as Martell's wine event at the house at the little country, whatever they got going on, the women were looking really good. They were looking like country classy. Well, they look nice for being in the country. They were on point. Like usually, Destiny disappoints me when I see what she wears. Because I'm a person that pays attention to detail. She has some type of cheap gold chains on her dress, and it didn't look right. But they look good for being in Huntsville. That's what I'm gonna say. And like whenever they have some type of major event, you always got to know that the drama's coming. They can never enjoy their time or what have you. It's like it has to be a drama presenter to it. So with the girls, it was actually Tiffany, and she wanted to get all into Destiny's and male situation, and she was like kind of being pushy, and Destiny like really called her out for that. Like she's really making things awkward on purpose, and I don't believe for a second that Tiffany doesn't know what she's doing. And again, I never need to see Tiffany or Lewis ever again in my life. And as far as the guys, it was absolutely going with Marceau. Now, Marceau had a situation where it was more so involving him and the Chris Fletcher situation. Because as we see, Marceau had used Chris Fletcher as an alibi of being in Atlanta when they had the pictures of his back and head and all that. But in the previous episode, Chris told Martell that, hey, look, I showed him a property, and that was about 2 hours. It was nothing more. It wasn't like we was hanging out, we went to dinner, or any of that. And, Marceau pretty much points the finger at Chris and saying, like, he's telling a story that's biased or whatever. More so like he believes Chris Fletcher should have been covering him more or left out some details. And rightfully so. Chris Fletcher recently got back with his wife, put his stuff back together. He don't want to be linked to being out of town or where he's, I guess, perceived as being a cheater or out with a cheater. And actually, he was with his wife. So, I mean, Marceau is really something else. Like I said, I definitely don't want no friend like that either. That brings you down. So, through the event, Martell decides he wants to redeem himself. And when I say redeem himself from the previous wine tasting event, he wants to, I guess, read a prepared speech so he can, I guess, include all his grandmother's legacy throughout, because he had a falling out with his uncle because he didn't mention anything. And you can tell that Martell has a problem with public speaking. And then when he starts, like I said, his head is just dropped. Like I read my notes the whole time, and I just put my eyes down and just say, when I see Martell read that speech, I was thinking like, man, I should have never dropped out of college, because if Martell Hope can get a degree, so could I. I probably would have graduated with honors. And because just how he carries himself, the way he speaks, I mean, the way he talks about hiccups, when they're having hiccups and he wants everything to be perfect. It's a thing. And I mean, at this point, he was like a little kid just reading over some his partner Christmas play. You know, he's starting over, shaking his head. You know, oh, I messed up. Let me just start over. But he got it out or whatever. And then he just went way over the top, trying to add a Swahili saying or whatever in it, like he's world traveled and renowned. I don't know, but he just need to be himself. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. Like, there's only one you. Be yourself. Somebody will gravitate to that or enjoy it or like it or whatever. Yeah, it's just he just went too far. So, um, as far as that I guess that went well, and then everybody's sitting down in the lobby of the place, and we go over to something we got to go over every time with Kimmy's cancer diagnosis. And I can say that's again a part of reality TV because this is real life, like having a cancer scare with Kimmy. And I can't say it enough. My heart breaks for Kimmy in this situation. Like, I personally know that cancer is a mother and it just it's all bad, even if it works out. And I hope it does. And I guess Kimmy had to really catch up Stormy because they already had the dinner with all the couples or whatever, and letting her know that her diagnosis came back positive for cancer because she was moved that she was kind of struggling at the peace like dinner they had for the ladies at Stormy house, and Stormy noticed that she was doing bad or being emotional, and she said normally like she's tough, so that's why she spoke to Kimmy and brought it up. But something tells me, this is just my opinion and thoughts on it, like Melody and Stormy are tight. I don't believe that was the first time she heard that, but Stormy was very supportive. It felt genuine, and I'm glad to see that because that's exactly what Kimmy needs in this type of situation. So, as far as like having a conversation around what's going on with Kimmy, surprisingly, I really enjoyed the conversation that Marceau had with Jalen, Kimmy's son, about like how he's processing and dealing with it because it was very transparent, it was very authentic. And right, this is Jalen's first time experiencing his mother having cancer. Jalen expressed that like really he's never seen he's seen his mother cry one time, and that was at her and Maurice's wedding. Like throughout their whole life, she's been with him from the beginning, and now he's really seeing like the changes that she's going through, how she's dealing with. One minute she's happy, one minute she doesn't even want to talk about it because I cannot imagine that a roller coaster and Jalen not knowing exactly what's going to happen in this situation. And he explained to Marceau pretty much, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going through. It's just like a lot. And I'm glad that somebody actually checked on him because that's a real thing. When you're dealing with situations like that, especially as young people, you cannot imagine how your mind processes situations like that. It's brand new, and especially when you're not taught to share your feelings or being able to communicate. I mean, I know he's going through it, and I'm just glad to see Marceau checking on him like that. But Marceau got to be Marceau, so he kind of to me throw the whole thing away when he in a confessional. He get all self righteous, like when you're feeling things and you're processing things, you just need to feel right then and there. If you want to cry, cry right there. If you want to feel or say what you need to say what. And this is the same man that keeps his wife in the dark about how he feels, what he thinks, gives her riddles, gaslights her, keeps her in the clouds of confusion intentionally. But you're supposed to express how you feel in the moment every time. That is so ridiculous. And just thinking back, if Tisha is okay with the alibi that Marceau got with Chris Fletcher for being in 2 hours, but he previously told her on camera that he had dinner with Chris Fletcher, Tisha will never come to the light, because I thought she would come to the light from that previous episode when they was at the bar and she was really standing up for herself because she didn't like how Marceau was trying to switch it up on her and tell her like, oh, it shouldn't be no problem. You being a jealous wife because I invited Melody to our date day or date night or whatever they had going on. She'll never get it because the man has confessed on camera. The receipts are there. She don't want to believe, and that's okay. That's okay. That's her marriage. If she's okay with her husband cheating and getting back pictures and secret babies, that's on her. That's what she got to do to keep her family together. So be it. So be it. So I don't know what to say about it, but Marceau is who I thought he was, and he always will be. It's same as Martell. So we got to get to the, I guess, the big blow up, the final dramatic scene. You know, it got to be something because that's what it's about. Instead of it being about real life, Carlos King got to have that drama, and he brings it, and he got it with Mel and Martell. Because now, again, Mel and Martell are not in a good place, and Melody saying that she believes Martell's coming to get a bag for the girls. I guess some of the items, because I'm assuming that Martell has the kids this week or whatever's going on, and Martell saying he wanted to stop by to talk about, I guess, some things with their camp or something discussing the kids. I'm thinking like, couldn't have been a conversation on the phone. So I don't know if this was set up or if this is Martell again with his non-boundaries. Because I say non-boundaries, I mean he's an overstepper. Same thing in Destin. I was blown away when he barely was in with getting invited to a free trip with his ex-wife and his kids, and he inviting other people over. And not that only that, he's inviting people over that his ex-wife has a problem with. And that's a problem. Whatever the problem is, whether it's petty or huge, it don't matter. He don't have those boundaries at all. What he think he's still a husband, or he just don't care about other people or what they think and how they feel. So that's Martell. And you know, Mel wouldn't let him in the house, and she's saying like, I ain't never let you in the house before. So, and he think like, well, I let you in my house when you come over, or whatever. So you need to reciprocate. That's his thing. You know, if she's doing something or he's doing something, it got to go both ways. And that's not always true. They kind of getting back cool again and trying to do better and co-parent. But Martell got the cussing Mel out and all that, and said he called her immature and rude, but then Mel brought it up. She's like, "Oh, I don't know. I only called you rude. Like, I don't even know how she have arguments with him. It's so ridiculous." So he's throwing like a little hissy fit or whatever because he ain't really getting his way. He was pissed off that he couldn't come in the house because he thought they was all good. And just looking at it, the level of toxicity in their relationship, you know, it's just covered their whole co-parenting situation all over again. It's bad. It just feel like how it's been going. It's all the way like any progress they have is gone. And I still feel the same way where I felt last season. For Melody's piece, she needs to stay as far away as from Martell as possible. If it ain't the business of the children, and limit it to that and that only. Martell, I don't care. He said he's been in therapy for over a year. He need to get his money back. He's not healed. You can see he still behaves like a child, and that's kind of the basis of his problems. Like the way he was raised, the lack of father figures. It's the thing that's spilled already over. And guess what? Every divorced couple is not made to co-parent in a way where they're taking vacations together. Some people are always going to be in two different places, and some people don't even want to get better. They are spiteful. They're grudge holding. You know, sometimes you just gotta do the best you can for the children if you can, but if not, you have to protect your peace at all costs. But anyway, like I said, she just need to keep it one way with Martell because like at this point she's like stooping to his level because she's taking his call and coming back outside, and you know they doing the back and forth thing, and I mean she went all the way to Martell's level when saying that like how pissed she was about him telling Ariana about COVID and him being with other women back when they were married and all of that. And I'm like, Mel, you doing impressions of this man of how he is and what he's doing, and even brought up the fact that he still wants her back, and I absolutely believe that. I'm sure she has the receipts and emails and phone conversations, whatever the case may be. But he won't admit that because he been dealing with other women, and two, his pride won't let him unless she says yes. He absolutely wants to be back with her, and at some point, I think she thought it was cute, like entertaining that, or just the fact that he wanted her back because yes, he made the biggest mistake of his life for having a baby outside his marriage and just having that dissolve. He's regretting it every day of being apart from his kids and all of that. But I'm thinking like just how low Mel went. It's like I'm thinking like Mel, didn't God say go? This ain't it. You down in the sewer with Martell. Just take a step back. Take a step back and see him for what he is. And like I said, I believe Marceau. Martell has reinfected Mel. Not that Mel is perfect, not that she doesn't do anything wrong, but the dysfunction, I really blame it and point the finger at Martell. Yes, Mel is a part of it, but it's him. That's the leader of their family. They in trouble. That's all I can tell you. So that was about it. It was a wrapped up. It was a dramatic end, and looks like the reunion is coming up next, and that's gonna be extra dramatic, and I can't wait to see it. So, for those who have checked in, I appreciate you. And when I say like me just getting back here, I don't know how many people have returned, and I go into this thing just how I came into it. When I get on this camera, I expect nothing. So when any person, one person come here and put a comment down, watch this video, I 100% appreciate it. Whether I got 3,000 followers or 300 followers, everyone, anybody who contribute to our channel is very appreciated. And as I always say, y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.